Good evening, you brave souls. Welcome to Blighty Nightmares. It's currently 8 PM, the UK's gone dark, and I've got a proper chilling tale for you. Tonight, we're diving into the internet's most cursed websites. Places so vile, they say clicking them at 3 AM invites something you can't escape. So lock your doors, kill the lights, and stick with me, because these stories will send a chill. So hit the subscribe if you're new, you won't want to miss a second. So let's dive in. I've been online since the days of the dial-up. You know, those screeching noise that sounded like a banshee waking up? I've seen my share of weird corners, dodgy pop-ups, forums full of nutters, even those creepy chain emails promising doom if you didn't forward them to 10 mates. But a few months back, I stumbled onto something different. It was a thread on X, posted by some faceless account, no profile picture, no bio, just a string of text that read, "Websites you should never visit." Below it, a list of URLs, each with the same warning, "Do not access these at 3 AM. At first I chuckled, thought it was some daft prank, another internet ghost story to spook the kids, but the replies, they weren't laughing. One bloke said, "I clicked the first one at 3 AM. My flat's been freezing ever since, even with the heating on full." Another wrote, "The screen wouldn't turn off, kept showing my face, but my eyes were wrong." A third just posted, "Don't, please, no explanation, just that." I'm a nosy sod, aren't I? So I had to dig deeper. Spent weeks searching X, trawling the web, even roped in a mate who's a bit of a tech wizard. What I found were 4 sites. 4 bloody nightmares that kept croaking up, each with stories so grim they'd make your skin crawl. I didn't visit them myself, I'm not that mad, but tonight I'm sharing what I uncovered. A word of advice though, don't go looking. Not after 3 AM, not ever. The first site's called The Mirror Room. Simple name, nothing flashy, just a black page with those 3 words in stark white text and a button labelled Enter. The chatter on X says it only works if you visit at 3 AM alone, with every light in your house off. No candles, no phone glow, just you and the dark. I found a blog from a chap who ignored the warnings. Let's call him Tom. He didn't leave his real name, probably for the best. Tom wrote that he clicked enter and his screen went dead black. Not just dark, proper void-like, swallowing the room's reflection. Then, after a few agonising seconds, a grainy video flickered on. It was his bedroom, streamed back at him through his webcam. The thing is, he taped it over weeks before. Checked it twice that night to be sure. Yet, there it was. His bed with the rumpled duvet, his desk cluttered with books, the half-empty mug of tea he'd left by his mouse. But he wasn't in the frame. No reflection of him staring back. Just an empty room, silent as a grave. He figured it was some clever trick, maybe a mate pranking him. Then he noticed the wardrobe in the corner. In real life, it was shut tight. He locked it after a creaky hinge kept waking him up. But on the screen, the door was cracked open, just a sliver, and from that gap, something moved. Not clear at first, a shadow, but as he squinted, it sharpened into a figure. Tall, impossibly thin, with no face, just a blur where eyes should have been, tilting its head like it knew he was watching. Tom slammed his laptop shut, bolted to the light switch, and flooded the room with brightness. He checked the wardrobe, nothing but his old jackets, a dusty suitcase, and a whiff of mothballs. He tried to laugh it off, but that night, he woke up at 3 AM to a sound. Tap, 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 coming from inside the wardrobe. slow, deliberate, like someone testing the wood. He didn't open it, just sat there, sweating, till the sun came up. Next night, same thing, 3 a.m, tapping, and by the third night, he swore he heard breathing behind it, heavy, raspy, like it was right against the door. He wrote that he grabbed a cricket bat and stood there, heart hammering, ready to swing. The sound stopped at dawn. His last post said he was moving out, couldn't take it anymore, never updated again. Ex-users reckon the mirror room doesn't just show you what's there, it pulls something closer, something that lingers, waiting for you to look again. The second site I found had a fancier name, the Whisper Archive. Sounds like some dusty old library, doesn't it? But there's no books here, just a plain grey page with a search bar and 3 words above it. Type a name. That's all. The rumours say it's tied to an old tale about a digital graveyard, a record of the dead, especially those who went out badly. Murders, accidents, the lot. Type their name at 3 a.m. and you'll hear them speak. I found a story on X from a woman, let's call her Sarah, who tested it. She'd lost her nan years back, peaceful passing in her sleep, so she figured it would be safe. Typed Edith Margaret Jones and hit enter. Screen went blank, then static hissed through her headphones. Headphones she hadn't even plugged in. A voice started, faint and scratchy, whispering her name. Sarah, Sarah, over and over, but it wasn't her nan. Edith had a soft, lifting voice, posh as anything, always nattering about the Queen. This was deep, jagged, like gravel scraping bone. She ripped the headphones off, but the whispering kept going. From the laptop speakers, then the walls, then, Christ almighty, inside her skull. She tried shutting it down, unplugging everything, even smashing the power button with a book. Nothing worked. 3 nights, she said. 3 nights of that voice, growing louder, angrier, until it started saying more. You called me. You woke me. She would sit in the dark, clutching a rosary that she hadn't touched since school, praying it would stop. On the 3rd night, she woke at 3 a.m. to silence, blissful silence, until she passed her bathroom mirror. In the corner of the eye, something stood behind her. A shadow? Too tall, too thin, gone when she turned. She posted that it's still there sometimes. Fleeting glimpses in reflections, always at night, always silent now. The ex-thread warned that the Whisper Archive doesn't just find voices, it finds whatever's tied to the name. Something old, something restless, and once it's awake, it doesn't sleep again. The third site's where it gets proper grim. It's called Red Static. No welcome page, no instructions, just a URL that, if you're daft enough to type it at 3 a.m, dumps you into a nightmare. The screen fills with flickering red noise, like the static on an old telly, but blood red and pulsing, loud enough to rattle your teeth. Ex-posts call it a signal, not a website, something broadcasting from a place we're not meant to reach. A lad, let's say Jake, shared his story, said he found the link on a dead forum, clicked it at 3 a.m. for a laugh. The red static hit him instantly, drowning his room in that crimson glow. At first, it was just noise, harsh, grating, like a storm in his ears. Then shapes started forming, vague at first, like static playing tricks. Hands pressing against the screen, fingers spread wide. Faces, mouths stretched in silent screams. Things with too many limbs, crawling at the edges, bending in ways bones shouldn't. He couldn't look away, mouse frozen, keyboard dead, just him and that red hell. Time dragged, minutes, hours, he couldn't tell. The words cut through the static. You saw us. Big, blocky letters burning into the screen, searing his eyes. Then it went black. He stumbled back, grasping, thinking he'd escaped until that night. Woke at 3 a.m. to silence, but his unplugged monitor was glowing red. In the reflection, eyes stared back. Dozens of them, not his, not human, scattered across the glass like spiders, unblinking. He tried smashing the screen with a lamp. It didn't work. The glow stayed till morning. He moved house a week later, said he still hears a hum sometimes, low and steady, late at night, under the floorboards, behind the walls. They say red static marks you, sees you back, and once it does, it's not a question of if it finds you, just when. Now the fourth site, this one's the quietest, but it's the one that kept me up. It's called The Waiting Door. Just a white page with a sketch of a wooden door, the knob, hinges, the lot, and a timer counting down from 24 hours. X posts say it only activates if you visit at 3 a.m. and click the door. Once you do, the timer starts. A girl, call her Emma, wrote about it. Said she clicked it on a dare, half pissed from a night out. The screen flashed and the timer began, counting down from 24 hours. She shrugged it off, closed her laptop, crashed into bed. But all day she felt watched. Shadows seemed off, too long, too sharp, stretching where they shouldn't. By nightfall, she heard it, a faint creak, like a floorboard settling. Kept happening every hour, getting closer, louder. At 3 a.m. the next night, 24 hours later, her flat went dead quiet. Then a knock, slow, heavy, from her front door. She checked the peephole, nothing, no one was outside, just the empty hall. Sodium lights buzzing, but when she turned, her bedroom door, the one she had left open, was shut, and the knocking started again, but from inside. Thump, thump, thump. She didn't open, just sat there, phone in hand, texting a mate who never replied, till dawn broke. When she finally checked, the room was empty, but her laptop was on, screen showing that same door, timer reset to 24 hours. Ex-users say the waiting door, it doesn't rush, it waits, knocks, and if you open it, whatever's behind it steps through. Emma's last post said she hears it every night now, doesn't sleep anymore, just waits. So there you go, the internet's most cursed websites, the Mirror Room, the Whisper Archive, Red Static, and the Waiting Door. Maybe they're just tales spun by bored punters online. Maybe they're rubbish, or maybe they're out there, one click away, waiting for some poor soul to test them at 3 a.m. Me, I'm not chancing it. That's it for tonight's Blighty Nightmares. If this got under your skin, smash that thumbs up, subscribe and ring the bell. More horrors are coming. Comment below, have you ever found a site that felt wrong? I'll see you next time. Sleep tight or don't, up to you.